Okay, so it's Dylan the Fire Alarm and welcome to my shop. Today, we are going to be taking a look at this antique Stromberg-Carlson 5-bar telephone magneto generator. Now, this came out of my antique telephone that I made a video about a little while ago. Now, since that video, I have since oiled the generator. I have put WD-40 into the various oil ports that are on the generator. There are a couple. There's one down here in the gear assembly. You can kind of see it. There's one down here that's for the bottom gear. And then there's two in the back. There's one right here. And then there's one down there. So I put some oil into there, and that obviously helped free up the generator a little bit. Now it spins a little bit better. But talking about the various parts of the magneto, here you can see we have a large gear, which is our main drive shaft gear. You can kind of see the drive shaft in there. And then the small gear, which actually is what the armature is attached to. And obviously, since the gear ratio, the big gear is going to be rotating at a slower pace, and the small gear is going to be rotating a lot faster to cause the armature to rotate faster past the magnets. And then, of course, we have the actual horseshoe magnets, which are right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and let my camera focus. There we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 magnets. And then on the back of the generator, we can see the drive shaft. I'll take this lead out of the way. You can see the points, the actual contacts. And on this side, you can actually see the screw terminals where you connect your wires up to. And I have a setup here. I have a light bulb that's connected to a couple clip leads. And I'm just going to clip this one on the positive terminal, which is our voltage output. And then the negative lead, I'll just ground to the case of the magneto, or ground to the metal frame. So that will be our ground lead. And now you're probably wondering, where's the crank? Well, the crank's right here. I just took it off so you could get a better look at the gears. So we'll go ahead and we'll reinstall our crank. And here, I'll show you real quick. It's actually threaded right here. I don't know see if I can position my camera, if you can see that, but it's threaded right there. See how it's threaded? And the crank will just thread right back on the shaft there. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. Wait for my camera to focus again so you can see. Okay, so here we go. We're going to attach the crank back on, and it simply screws on. Really easy. There we go. And now our crank has been successfully attached, and we'll go ahead and give you a good demonstration of how fast this actually turns. And it's real easy to turn, too. And of course the camera is going out of focus apparently because of the movement. See if we can crank it without it going out of focus. Okay, and that cranked really easily. I don't know if you can see how fast the actual... My camera focus again. I don't know if you can see how fast the actual small gear is rotating. See if you can see it here compared to the large gear. But I'm going to try to see if you can see this. I don't know. Yeah, you see how fast that small gear is rotating? And that is a pretty good magneto. So I think I can get you a better view if I flip the magneto over. And we can actually get a look at the armature. As you can see right here, position my camera good. Let it focus. Focus. Okay, this assembly right here is the actual armature. This right here. And the coil is actually wrapped on here and it's insulated. And obviously how this works, you have the armature, which is attached right to the small gear, is actually how it drives it. And what happens is you're rotating a coil of wire past the poles of the magnets, the horseshoe magnets. And that is inducing a voltage in the coil because of the alternating magnetic fields. So it works by Microfaraday's law of induction. It just induces a voltage, it produces a magnetic field, and they alternate, and that induces electric current in the coil. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it, and you can see how slow I'm actually cranking it, but you can see how fast the armature is rotating. You see that? The armature itself is rotating a lot faster than how I'm actually cranking the generator. So if I don't shock myself, so I don't touch the points, I'm going to start cranking. You can really see that, how fast that moves. So that just kind of gives you a demonstration of how fast that armature with the coil on it is actually rotating past the magnets. So, like I showed earlier, the magneto has several parts. It's got the crank assembly with the drive shaft. It's got the large gear and the small drive gear. It has the mounting bracket on the back where it would actually mount into the telephone, as you can see right there. And I'm going to flip the Magneto on its side here so we can get a good look at the nameplate on the Magneto. So let's position my camera here so we can get a good shot of the nameplate. See if you can read it. I don't know if my camera will focus. We'll see. It's probably real hard to see. I don't know if you can see that, but it says Stromberg-Carlson Telephone Manufacturing Company, Rochester, New York, USA. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to see that, unfortunately, because it's just too kind of scratched and it's too hard to see. But that's what it says. Trust me. So now we've gone over the various parts of a Magneto. I guess I'll go ahead and grab my small Magneto so we can compare the size. So hang on a second. Okay, here's a look at my really small Magneto. Now I'm sure you've seen this Magneto before. This is that really small one that I showed in my demonstration board video. And yes, this one still works, and it works on the same principle, except it doesn't have horseshoe magnets. It has the plate magnets, the wafer magnets, in the sides there. But as you can see, this 5-bar is a lot bigger than that one. So we're going to move that one out of the way for now. And we're actually going to give you a demonstration of this Magneto right now. So, as you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the live terminal I already hooked up to the live end, and I'm just going to ground the negative, or the ground side, to the frame. And we're going to watch this light right here as I crank it. So we're going to watch that light, and it's real easy to crank, and as you can see, it's lighting it up. And I'll turn the light off, and we can see that better. As you can tell, it gets really bright. So this Magneto puts out a lot of voltage. And I guess while I'm here, I can prove to you how much voltage the Magneto puts out. I'm going to give you a digital and an analog representation of the voltage output on the Magneto. So let's go ahead and take our digital multimeter, and I'm going to disconnect the light bulb, and I'm going to go ahead and connect the multimeter to the Magneto. So bear with me a second here while I go ahead and connect this up. Okay, our meter's connected, and I'm going to put it on the volts range, and we're going to put it on 200 volt scale, so we can see how much this actually outputs. Now, I'm going to see if I can position the multimeter behind here so we can get the camera to see it well. So I don't know how well the camera can see that. I guess I could put it here. Okay, that's a little bit better. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if you can. It says 0 volts. There you go. If I can put my flashlight on there. Okay, so as you can see, the meter shows 0 volts. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it. And I'm turning it really slowly. And we're already getting about 40 volts. 30, 40 volts. Now we'll crank a little bit faster. We get about 60. Go all the way. We can get about 80 out of it. Well, I guess I was able to get up to 80 before, so I guess what we can peak out at right about now is about 70 volts. Yeah, about 78, so almost 80 volts. So we'll just give that one more shot. Let's do that one more time. So there we go. So that's the voltage representation on the digital meter. And now we're going to do the same thing with the analog meter. So let's move the camera on my triplet model 630 back here. See if we can get a look at that meter. And we'll set it for about 60 AC volts. So 60 AC volts, we're going to go ahead and connect the leads here. And here we go. Oh, and that immediately trips the scale, so there we go. And it still does, so we're going to crank it up one more. There we go. So we can see, if we look, we're on the 300 volt scale, so we look right at the top. of the scale. I don't know how well you can see the scale on that meter, but you can see it's showing about 50, 60, about 70 volts right now, so that's about 70 volts, so that was a demonstration of the analog representation of the voltage output. So, that's about it for this video. I just wanted to give a quick demonstration about this vintage Stromberg-Carlson 5-bar telephone generator, or Magneto. And I thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned in for more videos in the future. Bye.